Coronavirus was the big topic of the night as Vice President Mike Pence and Senator Kamala Harris took the stage for their only debate of the campaign.
Both presidential candidates are in their 70s, but Pence and Harris really avoided talking about the line of succession. Daniel Bacchus is in Salt Lake City with some of the bigger highlights from last night.
The coronavirus pandemic was center stage last night with plexiglass dividing Vice President Mike Pence and California Senator Kamala Harris.
The American people have witnessed what is the greatest failure of any presidential administration in the history of our country.
From the very first day, President Donald Trump has put the health of America first.
At their only debate, the candidates sparred over health care and the Trump administration's efforts to dismantle the Affordable Care Act.
If you have a pre-existing condition, heart disease, diabetes, breast cancer, they're coming for you.
Obamacare was a disaster. The American people remember it well.
Last night's debate was more cordial than the presidential one between President Trump and Joe Biden, though there was still plenty of jostling between the two candidates and the moderator.
Thank you, Vice President Pence. The American people deserve, Susan, the American people deserve to know to repeal the Trump tax cuts.
Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking.
The most viral moment came when a fly landed on Pence's head and stayed there for 2 minutes as he discussed race in America.
Look, we don't have to choose between supporting law enforcement, improving public safety, and supporting our African American neighbors.
Harris is the first woman of color to appear on a major party presidential ticket.
Joe Biden will be a president who brings our country together,
Senator Harris,
and recognizes the beauty in our diversity.
The second presidential debate is scheduled for 1 week from today. Danya Bacchus, CBS News, Salt Lake City.
Former Vice President Joe Biden says if President Trump is still positive for the coronavirus, he should not debate.